Funny how we met on the telephone. You and I on the edge of the unknown. Oh, in only a moment's time, I knew my heart was yours and yours was mine.
She does look spectacular, doesn't she?
And when I saw you waiting at your place, something felt familiar in your face. Oh, you smiled as if to say, I knew my heart was yours from the first day. And we were right.
Oh my god!
Stood through it all.
Oh, that's good. You actually
Oh, you look so beautiful here. You're getting married.
What we found is second to none. I knew.
Can I go rig?
Yes, you can.
I knew this would be love. There were days when I thought I lost you.
Doesn't she look
She
amazing?
looks stunning,
I
stunning.
knew this would be love.
A flash in the dark illuminates the beating of our hearts. The smoke in our veins tells me that we're feeling all the same. Tell
today at this wonderful simcha for Haley and Elliot. For the signing of the Ontario documents, I'd like to invite Scott and Samantha to come up. The ketubah, that's the traditional Jewish marriage contract. I'm asking Scott to stay here, and Jamie's gonna come up. The groom and the bride affirm in the presence of witnesses that they are committing themselves to the obligations of the ketubah. And the way they do it is by tugging on a cloth, or in this case, a kippah. So I'm gonna ask each of them in turn to affirm that commitment in front of their official witnesses as well as in front of all of us here today. And then I'm going to ask our Eidim, our witnesses, to sign that they saw that this Kabbalat Kinyan took place. Elliot, do you agree to abide by the obligations of the ketubah and to live with Haley as a proper Jewish husband? Okay, well, to affirm that, give a little tug. Good. Good? Okay. Haley, do you agree to abide by the commitments and terms of this ketubah and to live with Elliot as a proper Jewish wife? Yes. Okay, great. So to affirm that, I will ask you similarly to give a nice firm tug. Great. Scott, did you see our Chatan and Kala perform Kabbalat Kinyan?
Yes.
Of their own free will?
A joke's allowed? Yes.
Jamie, did you witness our bride and groom perform Kabbalat Kinyan of their own free will?
I did.
Great. The ketubah will be read under the chuppah. So it's a beautiful, beautiful ketubah as a visual. And the terms in their original Aramaic, at least in part, I will be reading in accordance with Jewish tradition under the chuppah in a little while. So now we have the bedekin. This is the tradition of veiling. It is a very, very ancient tradition for brides to be veiled. So I'm going to invite Haley's parents to come up at this time. And I'm going to invite Elliot to lower the veil now. Stand wherever you like and to recite this traditional blessing for your daughter and her future.
Lafe Rivka, Yasmikei, Elohim, Sera, Rivka Rachel Belea, Yavarkei, Adonai Ve Yishmerek, Yair Adonai, Panev, Eliek, Vi Kuneek, Yisa Adonai, Panev, Eliek, Vi Yasem Lak Shalom. Haley, may you be fruitful and prosper. May God make you as Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. May Adonai bless you and protect you. May Adonai show you favor and be gracious to you. May Adonai show you kindness and grant you peace.
And I know we all wish for both Haley and for Elliot long life, many long years together with the blessing of Shalom. Amen.
Amen.
First light of morning shines through our window. Marigold meadow, to welcome another day, making our own road, done with the old one, straight up the mountain. The view from the top is worth
May the one who is supreme in power, blessing, and glory bless this Chatan, Elliot, and this Kala, Haley. Bruchim habaim. We welcome you. With this moment, your hopes are being fulfilled. This moment is a merging of two paths of life into one. Bruchim habaim, we welcome you to a loving marriage. The Jewish wedding ceremony consists of two parts. Originally, they were done on different days, separated by as many as several months. Now, and for many, many centuries, they're always done together. But to acknowledge the fact that they were once two, there are 2 cups of wine that will be shared by our Chatan and Kala this day. Wine in our tradition is a symbol of joy, and the full cup of wine symbolizes the fullness of the joy that we all wish for Elliot and Haley this day. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu al ha'arayot v'yasar lanu et ha'arusot ve'et ha'arusin v'hitir lanu et ha'nisuot ve'et ha'nisuin lanu al yedei chuppah v'kiddushin. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh amo Yisrael al yedei chuppah v'kiddushin. As you share this wine, so may you share all things from this day on with love and understanding. May life's joys be heightened, its bitterness sweetened, and each of its moments hallowed. The exchange of rings now takes place. The ring is simple without precious stones, and its wholeness symbolizes the beautiful way our bride and groom complement each other. At the moment the rings are presented, a special formula is recited, witnessed by everyone present here this day, and the bride and groom thus become legally bound to each other. And so at this time, Elliot, I'm going to ask you to place Haley's ring on her right index finger, and to repeat after me these words. Harayat.
Harayat.
Mikudeshet.
Mikudeshet.
Say li.
Li.
Bitaba'at zo.
Bitabata zo.
Kadat Moshe.
Kadash Moshe.
V'Yisrael.
V'Yisrael.
By this ring.
By this ring.
You are consecrated to me.
You are consecrated to me.
As my wife.
As my wife.
In accordance with the laws of Moses.
In accordance with the laws of Moses.
And the people of Israel.
And the people of Israel.
And Haley, similarly, I'll ask you to place Elliot's ring on his right index finger and repeat after me these words. Harayata.
Harayata.
Mikudash.
Mikudash.
Say li.
Li.
Bitaba'at zo.
Bitaba'at zo.
Kadat Moshe.
Kadat Moshe.
V'Yisrael.
V'Yisrael.
By this ring.
By this ring.
You are consecrated to me.
You are consecrated to me.
As my husband.
As my husband.
In accordance with the laws of Moses.
In accordance with the laws of Moses.
And the people of Israel.
And the people of Israel.
Well, Haley and Elliot, you are now legally bound to each other in accordance with Jewish law. Ruach Acheret had resonance for me as I thought about your wedding, Elliot and Haley. Because in many ways, I think the two of you have a Ruach Acheret, a Ruach, a special spirit, which is individual and unique to yourselves. That Ruach is reflected in the way the two of you live your lives as individuals and as a couple. It's reflected in your deep love and admiration for each other, which transcends the inevitable differences which arise for two people who've been raised on different continents, in two different accents and cultures, reflected in your shared love for the food of yet a third continent, sushi, and in some of the memorable time you've spent together traveling to some truly wonderful places that the world has to offer. In getting to know you a bit over the last years, we've prepared together for this day, where I really see the Ruach Acheret is the way in which you appreciate and admire the different qualities which each of you possesses, understand your differences in temperament as complementing rather than challenging each other, and the great sense of humor that you bring to life's inevitable challenges. Today you cross over together into a new land, the land of marriage. Everyone here prays that you will find this land to be one which is zavat chalav udvash, flowing with milk and honey. That doesn't mean that life is simple in the new land. A ruach acheret doesn't eliminate the challenges. It just helps us to deal with them with love and trust and faith and patience. And the wonderful thing is that you're not alone. You stand under this chuppah, as so many generations of Jewish brides and grooms have done wherever they've lived, enriched by the tradition you've inherited, blessed by loving family and friends who care about you deeply. Haley and Elliot, in preparing for this day, I thought of the saying of the Baal Shem Tov, who said, "From every human being there rises a light that reaches straight to heaven. And when two souls that are destined to be together find each other, their streams of light flow together, and a single brighter light goes forth from their united being." My prayer for you this day as you make this commitment to each other and formally and publicly unite your flows of light into one brighter stream, as that you find the land of marriage into which you are crossing today to be a source of goodness, comfort, growth, and mutual sustenance for many, many long and happy years ahead. Be'echad b'Shabbat, be'esrim yom l'chodesh Sivan, Shnat 5776 Levriyat Olam Leminyan she'anu monin kan b'Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Eiche Chatan Eliezer ben Shlomo Yehuda Halevi uMarilyn. Amarla Lahada Betulta Chana bat Label HaKohen Vidalia. Havei li leintu Kadat Moshe v'Yisrael. Va'ana eflach va'okir va'ezun va'afarnes yitichi lichi kihilchot guvrin Yehudain. Defalchin umokrin v'zanin farnesin l'nsheon v'chushta. V'yahevna lichi mohar betulaichi kesef zuzi matan dechazi lichi midioraita. Zonichi uchsutichi v'sipukichi mi'ala v'tichi ka'ora kol ara. Utzviyat marat chana betulta da v'havat le'intu v'din nedunya dehana le mi be'avua. Bein b'chsaf, bein b'dhav, bein b'tachshitin v'bane devusha, b'shimushay dira v'shimushay da'arsa, hakol kibel alav Eliezer chatan danan b'meas kukim kesef tzaruf utzvi, Eliezer chatan danan v'osif le mindile od meas kukim kesef tzaruf acherim, kenegdan sacha kol 200 kukim kesef tzaruf, v'hakol sharir v'kayam. Elliot and Haley are making the commitment that they are today to each other in our presence and in conformity with all the laws and traditions of Jewish law and custom. And we will now celebrate the second ceremony, the ceremony of Nisuin. The blessings we're about to recite express our gratitude to God for the miracle of life in general and the sanctity of married life in particular. Because there are 7 blessings in all, they've come to be known in our tradition simply as the Sheva Brachot, the 7 blessings. In our tradition, the number 7 carries special significance. It's the number of wholeness and holiness. It's the number of Shabbat, the 7th day, and thus the number of peace. And I know we all pray that the Sheva Brachot may confer blessing upon each day of every week of Haley and Elliot's life together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen kol sason vekol simcha kol chatan vekol kahala kol sason vekol simcha kol chatan vekol kahala kol mitzalot chatin mechubatam Unarim mishtei naginatam baruch atah Adonai mesameach chatan im hakala. Praised are you who lights the world with happiness and contentment, love and companionship, peace and friendship, bridegroom and bride. Let the mountains of Israel dance. Let the gates of Jerusalem ring with the sounds of joy, song, merriment, and delight, the voice of the groom and the voice of the bride, and the happy shouts of their friends and companions. We praise you, God, who brings bride and groom together to rejoice in each other. Well, since both of you have acted out of love and affection, acting in accordance with the rites and ceremonies instituted by our holy Torah, and in accordance with the laws of the province of Ontario, you, Elliot, and you, Haley, are now husband and wife. We conclude a Jewish wedding, as you know, with the smashing of a glass. This act reminds us of the broken souls in this world who yet wait for a day of celebration and joy. As we include them in our thoughts, we ask God to make their lives whole again and bring to them the happiness that Elliot and Haley enjoy today. Between now and then, let us pray that however many pieces this glass may break into, so may Haley and Elliot's happiness be multiplied. Mazel tov!
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. The newlyweds, Mr. and Mrs. Elliot and Haley Warren. evening, everyone. For those who don't know my name is Matthew. I am Haley's younger brother. On behalf of Haley and Elliot and both families, I would like to welcome everybody to this evening's celebration. A particular shout out to those who have traveled from near and far to be with us tonight. It is greatly appreciated by all. Right off the bat, I would like to address any concerns people have with the seating. It should be noted that it has nothing to do with how important you are. It's all about age discrimination. The older you are, the farther back you are from the band. You guys are lucky because personally I'm not a big public speaker or any sort of speaker, to be honest. Nor do I crave the limelight. You will not get a big speech on how great Haley was a sister, which she was, or how much I care about her, which I do, or how happy I am that she's marrying a nice guy, which I am. And he definitely is. And even though it means she'll be living across the pond for eternity, I guess it will come with some perks like free London accommodation, stuff like that. And now I would like to call on my parents, Lawrence and Danielle, to say a few words. Thank you, guys.
Good evening. Thank you all for joining us. I've spent the last 9 months praying for good weather for June 26th. It appears I've prayed a touch too hard. And I was told that the presence of one of our London guests guarantees sunshine. So thank you, Denise. But maybe next time we can concentrate on the temperature. The other thing is I met Jonathan this morning, and he mentioned something that I have to clarify. Lawrence and I are not divorced. Some of you who read the invitation, I still use my maiden name, and that's the choice I made because I'm a woman of the Gloria Steinem generation. I really wanted to write a great speech for tonight, and to be brutally honest, like with everything else I do, I Googled it. Google has been my electrician and my plumber this year, successfully helping me repair my electric car door opener and my dishwasher. So I knew it would guide me well, and it did. I had to delete almost everything I had already written. Too much gush and too much about me. So here it goes. Step 1. Welcome the out-of-towners. At the risk of being redundant, the Pascals and the Warrens truly appreciate the effort you have all made to be here. More about you guys later. Step 2, talk about the bride. Simple. Haley came out of the womb smiling and hasn't stopped since. I am immensely proud of the child she was and the exquisite young woman she's grown up to be. Emphasis on young. Just yesterday when we were buying a little wine so I could write these speech, she was carded at our local liquor commission, and I don't know if you out-of-towners know what carding means, but it's proof of age over 19. Obviously, her extensive skincare regimen is working. I always wanted Haley to be a ballerina just like me, but she had very stiff legs, and she had absolutely no coordination. Thankfully, she found her niche at summer camp, where she proved herself in something I could never have done. As all the other Tamaulipas in the room here tonight know, Haley spent up to 15 days at a time in the wilderness, canoeing for hours and portaging for miles with a canoe weighing 80 pounds on her back. And for all our British guests here tonight, she even encountered a giant black bear. Needless to say, our Haley is fearless. There are so many more special anecdotes I could recite, but to keep it short and sweet, as Google suggested, let me just say that Haley has always been a cherished daughter and granddaughter, a loyal friend, a diligent student, a hard worker, but most importantly, Haley has always had a beautiful soul, and in Elliot, she has found her soulmate. Step 3, talk about the groom. What can I say about Elliot? Well, first of all, I know he loves to eat. Every time I call London, they are either going out for brunch, lunch, or dinner, or meeting friends at a pub for drinks. And he eats a lot. The first time I have actually very first-hand information on that. The first time we met in St. John Woods in the summer of 2011, despite his very shy demeanor, he had no trouble devouring an immense plate of French fries and then proceeded to eat all of my French fries and all of Haley's. And I was like dumbfounded looking at where all that went. Do you remember that? You do. I don't know how he keeps his trim figure. He's not much on shopping, unless it's on Amazon. But that's only after the most extensive research of customer reviews. And by the way, he doesn't do anything without a spreadsheet. That was his major contribution for our wedding preparation. Lots of spreadsheets. On the home front, I know he irons his own shirts. Would you believe this? He has a bound, self-published compilation of all his favorite recipes. And I've tasted his tomato sauce. It's really good. I just found out recently he has a template with a checklist for packing. And now Haley's using it too, so they're a very organized couple. He has a good sense of humor, but honestly, most of the time I can't tell if he's making a joke. Sorry, it's true. My mother, who unfortunately is not here with us tonight, would have loved you, Elliot. Although she was born a blonde, she chose to be a redhead. She would have loved your kindness and smarts, but most importantly, she would have been thrilled to see how much you have made Haley happy. Finally, we have all seen your love and respect of family, and what better way to judge a future husband and son-in-law's character than to observe a devoted grandson, son, and brother. Elliot, the good news is we live very, very far away. The bad news, we plan on visiting a whole lot. Okay, step 4, we're almost done. Welcome the in-laws. Marilyn and Jonathan, you have warmly embraced our Haley from day one. You have truly been like a second family to her all this time, and now it's official. Lawrence and I are looking forward to spending more time in England and getting to know you better. I am even considering taking up horseback riding. I've always loved the outfits. My friends will know that, right? I used to wear jodhpurs all the time. Finally, step 5, advice for the newlyweds. The obvious stuff, love and respect each other. Learn how to agree to disagree nicely. Never stop dating. Never stop having fun, very important. Create a clear vision of your shared future together, but don't be afraid to change it if you have to. A successful marriage requires falling in love many times, always with the same person. Here's what I did wrong. Collect fewer things. I collect a lot of stuff. And more cherished memories. I hope tonight will become one of your most cherished memories and the beginning of many, many more to come. We love you both very much.
During the ceremony tonight, someone came over to me and said, "Is the Queen coming?" They heard a helicopter. Said, "We tried, but it didn't work." I just wanted to say a few words about my Haley. She has always been my sidekick, whether accompanying me on a road trip or helping me out at the furniture show in Las Vegas. She was always willing to pitch in. However, it did come without rewards. I was a sucker at Staples, buying endless school supplies and Shoppers Drug Mart, feeding her serious addiction to beauty products. Haley, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have a Facebook or Instagram account. But I have forgotten my password, and I'm still trying to figure out how to post using a hashtag. Kidding aside, you are truly a spectacular bride tonight. Beautiful on the outside, but more important on the inside. I love you, Haley. I just want to share one story about Elliot. And this was his proposal. I got an email many months ago or a year ago that he wanted to talk to me about some furniture for Haley. Danielle and I knew that wasn't it. He was going to make a proposal, and he said he would call me. 1 week passed, 2 weeks passed, 3 weeks passed. He finally called me, and he asked me, can he have Haley's hand in marriage? I said, fine, that's great. We'd love that. But he said there's a problem. I haven't asked Haley yet. But he says, please don't tell her or ask her. I'm going to speak to her shortly. 1 week passed. 2 weeks passed. 3 weeks passed. And you think it was easy keeping it from Danielle telling all her friends? Every 20 minutes, did he call, did he call, did he call? That's the only story I have. I have a lot more. Elliot, we would like to officially welcome you to our family. Everybody, please join us in raising a toast to the newlyweds, Haley and Elliot.
Well, what a wonderful wedding. I think this is absolutely beautiful. Everybody here is so excited to see this wonderful couple. I'm just saying a few words just to say this is the most beautiful wedding I have been to for a long time. This is my number 2 grandson. I'm not due to make a speech here. This is my number 2 grandson. All 3 are wonderful and dear to us, my wife and myself, and it treasures us to be here tonight, and we are very fortunate to be here amongst all you people. And thank you very much indeed. I'll now say the Baroka. Baroka atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher krishonu b'mitzvah sovat tzivonu, hamaltzi lechem min haaretz. Have a lovely evening, and I love seeing all your faces. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jamie. And I am Samantha. And we are Haley's co-maids of honor. For all of you who have traveled here from the UK and beyond, we welcome you. And we will now stop imitating your accent. As some of you may know, we have known and loved Haley, or as she is sometimes known as Pasky, Skoid, Skoidles, Pasky12 at AOL.com, Skoidini, or simply Mom, for almost 30 years.
The first time I met Haley, we were 6 years old, and we were on the same T-ball team. For those of you who don't know what T-ball is, essentially it is a simplified version of baseball where the ball is placed on a giant ball.
I first met Haley when the brilliant staff at Holy Blossom Nursery School confused our mothers for each other and almost sent us home to the wrong families.
Over the years, we have also had the opportunity to live and be cared for by Haley. Haley and I went to camp together for over 10 years.
And we lived together during University of McGill. Elliot, although you already live with Haley, we wanted to take this opportunity to fill you in on a few of her more undercover attributes and give you a glimpse into your future.
Firstly, Elliot, did you know that Haley is actually a certified fortune teller? Every summer, Haley would make a habit of draping her bunk bed in a sheet and invited us one by one into the fortress to predict our outcomes. Her accuracy was usually spot on, with a small margin of error, as Jason Reback, her childhood crush, would not become a permanent fixture in her life.
Elliot, you will always have a warm and loving home. I will never forget the time that the landlords of our apartment were showing our place to future renters. Haley and I had absolutely no stake whatsoever in whether our apartment was rented or not. But she had recently read in Women's Health magazine that the scent of freshly baked goods was enticing to prospective property buyers. She spent the next day slaving away in the kitchen making cookies, trail mix, and muffins. Our apartment was leased shortly after.
Haley is literally the most selfless human being ever. Without question, she was always there to help out a friend. On countless occasions, she was the first to volunteer at camp to dress up in the most embarrassing costumes of all time for the benefit of others. Her previous roles include a dancing Iron Chef and an Egyptian goddess, and Jerry Seinfeld. If anybody needs photo evidence, please come see Sam and I after the speeches. Haley is so kind and caring that she even earned the nickname Mom. And I think that the only time we ever had to take care of her was the last day of camp, where she cried more than anybody else because she loved camp that much.
Elliot, please know you will never be starved for affection. Haley will remember every special occasion and always make sure that she expresses her love. On our first Valentine's Day together at McGill, at around 12:30 p.m., a packet was slid under my doorway. The contents of said packet contained 30 Pokemon Valentine's Day cards, all addressed to Sam from Haley, and not detached from each other. I think that was the cutest thing anyone has ever done for me. Sorry, Michael. Haley is always the first person to like your photo or wish you a happy birthday, and that's not even because of the time difference.
Lastly, Elliot, you are marrying into one of the most loving, kind, and fun families. Danielle is one of the most welcoming, creative hostesses of all time. You really did an amazing job tonight.
Lawrence, you are one of the nicest people I have ever met. Who else would offer to turn their car around and drive halfway back to Toronto from Montreal because I dropped my blankie out of the car at a Tim Hortons rest stop off the highway. Please note I was 22 years old when this happened.
She still wears it.
You also have an amazing sense of humor, whether it is intentional or not.
Ladies and gentlemen, please ask him to see the wallet trick later. I encourage it. Haley and Elliot, you're a really perfect match for each other. We both wish you nothing but a lifetime of happiness and love.
We're so glad you included us in your special day, and we love you lots.
Please get back to Toronto soon.
Just over 5 years ago, when Elliot was practicing his best man speech for my wedding in front of his parents, they advised him to take a couple of subjects out. Interestingly, they left in the bit where he puts on a terrible and offensive Indian accent. Anyhow, I am here today, 3,500 miles away, from any sensible advice from the wiser members of my family. My friendship with Elliot developed when he used to invite me round to his home at lunchtime to watch episodes of Jerry Springer. Though actually, I first met Elliot at chess club in school. Most people went there to avoid the rain at lunchtime, but some of us ended up playing for the school team, and the drama teacher who ran it used to give us sweets in after-school practice. Ours was a school where the teachers were sorely disappointed when the cane got banned. However, I once witnessed Elliot, age 16, being smacked on the bottom by a maths teacher as the old fogey walked past us while we were both facing the wall. Elliot didn't seem to mind. On another occasion, a physics teacher gave Elliot a smack on the wrists with a wooden ruler. Though the teacher felt bad, again, Elliot seemed to enjoy it. At university, when a few friends stayed over for my 21st birthday, I woke up to some commotion whereby Elliot had leapt out of his sleeping bag, wearing only his Y-fronts, holding a belt, and bearing over another former schoolmate, demanding to even the score. Haley, in case you didn't know already, Elliot has developed some interesting pastimes. When we grew up, or rather became adults, we would venture out to see what nightlife had to offer us. Once, we were outside a club in London when some geeky Austrian guy took offense to a hat Elliot was wearing and was trying to put on random people. Words were exchanged, as is a custom in Britain. As they squared up to each other, the Austrian's friend and I got into position so as to prevent any actual blows, preserving some dignity for both of them. Yet in a flash, Elliot was 10 meters away shouting, "I'll sue you! Lay a finger on me and I'll sue you!" Mind you, this was no idle threat. Elliot is a top lawyer and has legal weapons he is not afraid to use. When birds pooed on his car outside his flat in Kilburn, he successfully sued a cash-strapped council for having the audacity to put a tree next to his car. No wonder his services are demanded from Russian oligarchs to American bankers. He even clicked into action on the stag do while wearing his costume. His brother was wrongfully accused by police of trying to derail a tram, or streetcar as it's called here, by throwing litter at it. Elliot gave the wise advice to his brother to stop complaining, take the £80 fine, which Elliot generously offered to pay. The fact that it actually was Elliot who threw the item on the tram may have had something to do with it. Anyway, following the successful stag do in Birmingham, I'm delighted that some of us who went have made it here to the after party. It's always good to have someone with Elliot's talents on your side. Having said that, Elliot's friends put up with a lot hanging around with our groom over here. On summer holidays, Elliot used to walk around in the sun under an umbrella, covered in what looked like Factor 5000 sun cream. It was practically paint. I had to learn the local word for clown on every European adventure to explain it away. When I visited him in Amsterdam, at the time I was carrying a noticeable limp, but Elliot was thoughtful enough to take me on a long bar crawl round his favourite haunts. He told me how Dutch people were so friendly to him when out and about. But at the age of 23, he genuinely didn't know what all the rainbow flags meant. As we were walking around together, him occasionally helping me with my limp, I explained what the symbol meant. He decided to balance things up by showing me another notorious part of Amsterdam. We did some window shopping, but paused for a bit too long at one window as a massive African lady opened up and tried to grab one of us. Despite my limp and Elliot's less than athletic starting pace, we were out of there pretty quick. Which brings me to Elliot and the ladies. At school, he didn't have much luck. I guess going to an all-boys school explains it. We didn't get taught how the minds of the fairer sex work. Once while abroad, a mess-up with trains meant that the two of us and two other girls were stranded outside a station somewhere in Portugal after the last train. It was decided best to go up a hill, to lay on the grass for a few hours until the first train in the morning. Elliot wouldn't go up the hill, fearing snakes. Snakes in Western Europe. But eventually he was convinced to join us up there. As for the rest of the night, I'm embarrassed to admit it, nothing happened. With two stranded girls and our sophisticated English accents, uncertain what the night might bring or whether we would ever get out of here, nothing happened. Later, Elliot's tactic of giving out business cards didn't work with the ladies, much to his surprise, while his dancing would evoke feelings of pity rather than attract anyone. Eventually, though, Elliot got a bit better at talking to girls. Or at least once finding them on the internet went mainstream. Seeking advice from someone he thought worldly on such matters, he once asked me if he could use a money-off coupon on a first date. Elliot later recounted the story how he told the waiter, away from the ears of his date, that he had a voucher only for the waiter to make a point of the discount in front of the girl when the bill came. Now, it's cliche in a best man speech to start wondering what Hayley sees in him. But genuinely, Elliot is great entertainment. All of his friends who found partners years ago never neglected him and were always happy to have Elliot as a third person when we went out, particularly when he offered to split the bill in half. But seriously, we are all delighted that someone took pity on him and will now be sharing the upstairs toilet in his flat. Seriously though, Elliot's been a great sounding board over the years for many things, some important, some trivial, and some downright silly. Elliot is a great and truly popular guy who has made us all laugh. We all love him and wish him and Hayley many years of happiness together.
My ex-girlfriend and I would like to welcome you all to sunny Toronto. Fashion capitals of the world. London, New York, Paris, and Forest Hill. These are just a small number of the far-flung places people have travelled to be with us this weekend. Friends and family have also flown from other parts of North America and Europe. My wife, and I are so grateful to those of you who have joined us celebrating with us. It is also so great that Hayley's grandpa Adam and my grandparents, Grandma Audrey and Papa Reg, are here to enjoy the occasion. We also know that there are many friends and family who unfortunately could not make today's event. A wedding like this takes lots of planning and effort. I'd like to thank Hayley's parents, Danielle and Lawrence, and my parents for helping make this all happen. It goes without saying that we couldn't have done this without you. This wedding has been a year in the making, unlike this speech, which I did on the flight over here. Particular thanks go out to Team Danielle for all her hard work in putting the wedding together. Danielle, and I must also add Hayley here too, you have both been incredible in your tireless effort in making the wedding so truly fantastic. I, for my part, have just had to turn up today. The venue is unbelievably beautiful and the attention to detail is second to none. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Hayley. Danielle and Lawrence, I am so appreciative for how you have welcomed me into your family with such warmth and kindness. You have been such fantastic parents to Hayley and raised such a wonderful, kind, caring, and considerate young lady. Mum, Dad, what can I say? Quite simply, I wouldn't be here without you. In all fairness, though, thanks for being the best parents I could ever wish for, and your continued love, wisdom, and support throughout my life. Thanks to my ushers, brothers Nick and James, and my now brother-in-law Matt, who have helped out today. Scott, my best man, thank you. Everyone knows you have a vivid and wild imagination at the best of times. And when you shift time zones, you have an unusual tendency to make up stories. Having said that, you have been a solid friend through thick and thin for over 2 decades. I am really honoured you agreed to be my best man, although we all know you were pretty keen to escape the wife and kids at home for a few days. Hayley and I would also like to thank our handsome page boy, beautiful bridesmaids, and gorgeous flower girls. Please, if you wouldn't mind being upstanding again and join me in a toast to the page boy Zach, the bridesmaids Alison, Sam, both Jamies, Rianne, Sarah and Amber, and our flower girls Chloe and Phoebe. The next part of my speech is the most important part, and it's difficult to avoid cliches when talking of what I think about Hayley, but I'm going to try and do my best. Hayley, you are my best friend, my love, my partner. Your kindness knows no bounds, and your loyalty is unwavering. You are always there for me, and I want to always be there for you. You are beautiful, both inside and out. And I'm sure everyone will agree, you look absolutely stunning tonight. Hayley Pascal, Hayley Warren, my HP source. The yin to my yang. You are intelligent, generous, hardworking, popular, and let's be very clear, a brilliant judge of character. Before I knew Hayley, I was an Abercrombie & Fitch dress kid wearing oversized clothes and what Hayley calls my turbo cargo shorts. Hayley has since outlawed all of this for wearing in public. Hayley, you've introduced me to spiralized zucchini, or courgette, and almond milk, quinoa, and proper maple syrup. But Hayley, you've changed too. You used to be glued to your junk TV, like Keeping Up with the Kardashians and Millionaire Matchmaker. Now you watch cookery shows like Drive-Ins, Diners, and Dry. I can't even say it. It's a real tongue twister. The Hemsley sisters, and you're happy to settle into bed with me watching the 10 o'clock news and a dose of Newsnight. We've come a long way. The story goes something like this. A number of years ago, Hayley met a dashing and handsome guy who asked her on a date. This guy was a great singer and an excellent dancer. This guy is now a very successful, witty, and wealthy man that has to fight off the constant queue of women. But he wanted to go on a date with Hayley because he knows, YOLO, you only live once. This guy, ladies and gentlemen, is Drake. And Hayley turned him down. Although at the time, Hayley was 10 years old and Drake was a much geekier kid and known by his real name, Aubrey Graham. Now, she has ended up with me. What can I say? I beat Drake. I recently came across a moving poem called The Gift Wrap and the Jewel, which was written by a 92-year-old lady. The poem tells the story of an old lady who looks in the mirror to realize how her physical self has deteriorated with age. But she then goes on to comment about the jewel inside. Hayley, right now you have the most beautiful jewel inside. And I'm sure everyone will agree your gift wrap is pretty awesome too. Way! As time passes, I guess both our gift wrap will get a bit tatty. But there's no one in the world I would rather be with when this happens than you. So if we can make I'd like to make one final toast, if you could be upstanding for the last time, to my ex-girlfriend, my wife, the newest Mrs. Warren, the bride.